In a big revelation, the World Anti-Doping Agency, in short WADA, has confirmed reports that 23 Chinese swimmers tested positive for a banned drug before the Tokyo Olympics. But ironically, no action was taken. After the report was made public, WADA came up with a bizarre explanation that it accepted China's findings that this was due to substance contamination. The games were delayed and began in July 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and China's 30-member swimming team won 6 medals, including 3 gold medals. Let's take a look at this detailed report.
The World Anti-Doping Agency WADA has confirmed reports that 23 Chinese swimmers tested positive for a banned drug before the Tokyo Olympics. WADA said it accepted the China's findings that this was due to substance contamination. The swimmers tested positive for banned substance trimetazidine months before the games, which began in the Japanese capital in July 2021 due to COVID pandemic. China's anti-doping agency, USADA, called the reports misleading. The agency claimed that the positive results had been inadvertent. It said the swimmers had tested positive for extremely low concentration. China also claimed that they were inadvertently exposed to the substance through contamination. China's 30-member swimming team won 6 medals at the Tokyo Games, including 3 golds. Prior to this incident, China's Olympic gold medalist Sun Yang, who was suspended for 3 months in 2014 after testing positive. Prior to the 2008 Beijing Games, several Chinese swimmers have been involved in doping cases. In 1994, 7 Chinese swimmers tested positive ahead of Hiroshima Asian Games. In 1998, 4 Chinese swimmers failed pre-competition testing. The incident will lead to tighter scrutiny of China before this year's Paris Olympics. Sports Desk, DD India.
Well, the World Anti-Doping Agency stands by its decision to clear Chinese swimmers before 2021 Tokyo Summer Games. The Chinese report determined that all the swimmers that tested positive were staying at the same hotel where traces of TMZ were found in the kitchen, the extraction unit above the hall, and drainage units.
The World Anti-Doping Agency was in full damage control on Monday, firing back at the criticism over its handling of 23 positive tests from Chinese swimmers that head of the United States Anti-Doping Agency called potential cover-up. WADA confirmed on New York Times report that Chinese swimmers had tested positive for trimetazidine, which is found in heart medication, months before the COVID-delayed Tokyo Olympics began in July 2021. The findings sparked outrage across the sport and among anti-doping crusaders. In a show of unity, WADA forcefully responded to the attacks during a nearly 2-hour Zoom call with media that featured leaders from agency's Science and Legal Affairs Department, Investigative Unit, and President Vitold Banca, who said the global anti-doping body stood by decisions and, given circumstances and evidence, would do the same again.
At every stage, WADA followed all due process and diligently investigated every lead and line of inquiry in this matter. If we had to do it over again now, we would do exactly the same thing. We carefully reviewed the decision of the Chinese anti-doping organization from every perspective. We interrogated every piece of evidence and gathered further information as appropriate. We had no evidence of wrongdoing to present and no credible way to disprove the contamination theory that was accepted by China and a position that was also accepted by World Aquatics. In short, if we had taken such an appeal and challenged the contamination explanation, we would certainly have lost.
WADA said it was notified in June 2021 of China's National Anti-Doping Agency's decision to accept that swimmers returned adverse analytical findings after unintentionally being exposed to the drug through contamination. The global anti-doping body took opportunity on Monday to go through the case, outlining in detail how it consulted scientific experts and external legal counsel to test the contamination theory presented by China's National Anti-Doping Agency.
The ultimate source, meaning How the TMZ got into the kitchen was not discovered. Chinada and the authorities conducted a number of interviews in order to try and explore how the substance could have gone into the kitchen, but that didn't result in anything concrete, and they didn't hypothesize in their report.
To me, what is important to understand is that contamination is not just the substance; it's the context of a possible contamination. And even if the source of trimetazidine in this dossier is not identified, what we can certainly consider is that an individual who had been prescribed with trimetazidine was under the medication of trimetazidine and would have used it on site in the restaurant could have very well contaminated the areas.
The Chinese report determined that all swimmers that tested positive were staying at the same hotel where traces or TMZ were found in the kitchen, the extraction unit above the hall and drainage units. All the results were consistently low and fluctuating negative and positive. China's National Anti-Doping Agency ruled the positive test was a result of environmental food contamination and decided not to move forward, notifying WADA of the decision. The case file was made available to WADA Science Department, which determined the contamination scenario was not only plausible, but there was no concrete element to call it in question. Legal experts who were consulted agreed an appeal to Court of Arbitration for Sport was not warranted. While detailed and thorough in its explanation, WADA's answers are unlikely to sway critics, who question how body can so easily accept the finding of an investigation conducted internally by China, a country has had tainted history when it comes to doping, particularly in pool. Sports Desk, DD India.